Today I will present you the Reproscope, which is the Observatory of cattle reproductive performances in France for both dairy and beef cattle. So what it is, it's constructed from discussions between expert and technician in both beef and dairy, as well as the national database, the BDNI, which is the National Identification Database, and the SNIG, which is a national system of genetic information. And from those information, we built an observatory of cattle reproduction, which gives anonymous national statistics as well as references for technician and breeder to compare themselves on their farm for this. So in the next slide, just a bit more about who is users of Reproscope. So it's firstly for breeders, but it can also be used by advisors, consultancy bodies, agricultural education, as well as researchers. So it's open to everyone. It's an online tool that can be used, and it's updated every year with all the cows and herds that are in France for both dairy and beef, as I said before. So how to use it? You first have to choose the population you want to study. So it can be choose either by the characteristics of the herd. So what type of herd, type of production, where in France, the breed, the specialization of the herd, the production level, or the herd size. But it can also be you can also choose the population you want to compare yourself, depending on the reproduction management. So the calving seasons, the percentage of first calf heifers, the percentage of artificial insemination, of crossbreeding, or the age, the objective of the age of first calving. So the sorry, Reproscope gives information of performances on fecundity, such as calving interval or the calving interval, for example. Sorry. There is also information on fertility, information of the percentage of heifers that are on the herd, the information on the birth, so the percentage of calves, for example, which are born through artificial insemination, and also some information of the percentage of cows on the herd that didn't calves for the year. So there is a total of 20 criteria that are displayed on Reproscope. So if we want to look quickly at the type of results we have, on the next slide, please. So we can have results either at the herd scale, which can give mostly through the form of a graph the distribution of herds in terms of the different performances. So here, for example, we use the criteria of the percentage of pregnant cows after the first artificial insemination. And it gives the average, the distribution, the quartiles, and the frequency for the herd. And in terms of animal performance, we can choose instead of herd to have information about the animal performance. And here we can have the number, for example, of cows that had calvings after the first artificial insemination, and the percentage of cows that had calving after the first artificial insemination. On the next slide, we have some uses that can be done with this observatory. So we can use it to describe the practices. Here we can see the differences between dairy herd and cow and beef herd for the use of insemination. In the next slide, you can show also the variability of the herds in both dairy or beef. And finally, as I said, you can choose the tools to choose. You can choose your population for areas, bred systems. So you can compare the results for different regions. So here, for example, the example is on dairy, but you can do the same for beef cattle, of course. You can differentiate between Brittany, the northeast, and the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region. The results of the percentage of cows pregnant after the first insemination, either if the insemination are spread, semi-grouped, or very grouped for the herd. So you can see different way to choose your population and then to compare the result of a farm to those population. And last use I wanted to present on the observatory is to change the received IDs we can have from some performances. So as we have exhaustive data on the French herd, we can have clear information on what are the average. So here, for example, for pre-Holstein cows, so the example is in Terry, the percentage of pregnant cow after first insemination is not different between the mean production level of the herd. Even if at an animal level there is some differences in fertility. So yeah, that was the different type of information. And if you want to see more, you can go to the website. But I think it's mostly in French, so it can be difficult to understand everything. So thank you.